I mean, the basics of a Colorado divorce are that the case gets filed either as a petition, which is one person filing and serving the case on the other, or as a co-petition where both parties are presenting to the court that they would like to get a divorce. And the first time that a decree can be entered in Colorado is 91 days after the case starts. In that time, there are a bunch of things that need to happen, and many divorces take longer than 90 days to get done. But, the timeline of divorce is really within the first 42 days. We have an initial status conference where we check in with the court and tell the court what we think the issues are, what experts are going to be needed, what issues are going to be needed to be addressed during the process of the divorce. And in some cases, we schedule a permanent orders hearing. We gather information. We have a series of mandatory disclosures in Colorado that include an exchange of certain documents and an exchange of a sworn affidavit and certificate of compliance that reflect the assets and debts of the parties and the income and the expenses so that everybody has an idea of what the scope of the assets are going to be. And after that exchange, either it's a simple divorce and we can go ahead and try and get it settled. Courts will order in every single district in Colorado that we mediate, but sometimes we get it settled before mediation. Or if it's complex divorce, by the time we've exchanged the financial disclosures, we know we need to get an expert to value the business, and we maybe need to get an expert to look at whether or not the trust has a marital component. So we've discussed what experts are going to be needed, and then really the discussion of settlement is delayed until we get those answers from experts about what are these values that we're dealing with. Other issues, obviously, if there's a maintenance component or alimony, as some people call it, we have to talk about what are the parties' ability to support themselves and what were the reasonable needs of the marriage during the marriage. Child support, again, is another thing we look at. And then parenting time. Sometimes parties aren't able to come to agreements on how the parenting time should look, how much time should the children spend with each party. In those cases, sometimes we have to get an expert called a child and family investigator or a parental responsibilities evaluator to investigate and make recommendations to the court about what might be in the best interest of the children. Our goal is always to get the cases settled because parties who settle have the most control over their case. But sometimes we end up at a permanent orders hearing contested in front of a judge. And again, that will further delay the case in Colorado because many dockets are backed up. So while 91 days is a great goal to shoot for, and certainly people who are working well together might be able to get their case done in 91 days, people who are going to a contested hearing are probably looking at a much longer wait to get a divorce in Colorado.